Hi everyone, how are you this evening? I'm so excited that you're here joining me for this free training on 3 secrets to glowing skin that you won't hear from your dermatologist. I hope you all had an amazing long weekend. It was a beautiful one here in my neck of the woods, and I celebrated on the Saturday. We had family over, we had turkey, we had sweet potato, and we had all the delicious foods that come with Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorites. So I hope, how was your Thanksgiving? You had a good time. That's awesome. Well, thank you again for being here. I am going to get started, and just give me a second. I'm going to switch over to share my screen so that you can see the presentation. So just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, so I'm just pulling up my presentation, and here we go. So you're here tonight to learn all about the 3 secrets to glowing skin that you won't hear from your dermatologist. And for those of you who don't know me very well, I wanted to start off with a quick introduction. My name is Orly Vector, and I'm a skincare dietitian. I help women who are totally fed up with adult acne and finally want to walk out of their house wearing the confidence of clear, smooth complexion. I live in Port Credit, Mississauga. It's a small town about 25 minutes away from downtown Toronto, and it's really pretty, really scenic. As you can see, there's a picture of a lighthouse, and it's a great place for walks. There's lots of parks and playgrounds, and I spend lots of time out and about with my son, and you can see him in the middle there on the tractor. We just went to a farm last Friday, and he's 17 months old today. And so he keeps me pretty busy running around, and we have lots of fun. And on the professional side, I have a master's degree in clinical nutrition from Boston University. So you can see my graduation picture there. Feels like ages ago. And I lived in Boston for 4 years. And I worked as a dietitian there for almost a year before I moved back to Toronto. So I love food, and not just healthy food. I do love smoothies, and I can make a pretty mean one, but I also have a major sweet tooth. And that picture you can see in the bottom right corner there, it's the most beautiful gelato creation I've ever had in France this summer. And it tasted just as good as it looked. It was beautiful. So now, before we dive in, I'd really love to hear from you. If you want to tell me in the chat, what's the most frustrating skincare challenge that you deal with? Have you ever bought an expensive skincare product hoping that it would be the answer to all of your skin frustrations, only to be let down? I know I have many times. Do you ever find yourself getting distracted during conversations because you're just so concerned about what the other person is thinking, or if they're staring at the bumps on your forehead? It's hard to have a proper conversation and really feel like you're being present and giving someone your full attention when all you can focus on is what your skin looks like. And do you ever just feel like you want to hide out at home? You avoid social situations? If you can relate, go ahead and type yes in the comments. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of yeses, so I can totally relate to that. Well, you're definitely in the right place tonight, and here's a little bit about what we're going to cover tonight. So I'm going to review the inside-out approach to healthy skin. No more Band-Aid solutions, and I'll talk more about that later. Why diet matters, plus my top 5 beauty-boosting foods to make your skin glow. A little bit about some irritating ingredients that are found in a lot of common skincare products, and they're ones that you should really avoid because they actually do more harm than good. I'll also provide 4 quick tips to get glowing skin, and at the end there's a live Q&A session. So I'm excited to dive in. Now, I wanted to share this picture with you before we start, because it really, I think it really can let you know or help you see why I'm so passionate about sharing this information with you tonight. I struggled with my skin for a long time, like over 10 years, from the time I was a teenager until my late 20s. And I felt like I tried it all. I know exactly how frustrating it is to visit dermatologists, to buy all the creams, to spend your hard-earned money, and really not to get results. So you can see in this picture, in the before picture, it's embarrassing to show it. It makes me cringe, but you can see how bumpy my skin was. You can see how red and irritated and inflamed it looked. And when you look at the after picture, it looks a lot clearer, more smooth complexion, and the bumps are gone. And you know, some products that I used, they did work for a short period of time, but in the end, they never left me with the lasting results that I was looking for. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story because I think you'll be able to relate. I thought I'd be dealing with acne forever. I was in my late 20s. It was well past my teenage years when most people experience acne. And I just thought it was something that I'd have to deal with for life. But it wasn't until after a trip that I went on to Italy and Croatia that I finally realized the connection with my diet. So I was on this trip for 3 weeks and it was amazing, such an amazing trip. And I was eating carbs and gelato and cheese and just really enjoying myself. And that's absolutely the best thing you can do when you're on vacation. But I do have to say, by the end of the trip, my skin was the worst it had ever been. It was just a big mess. And I came home and I went to see an esthetician, and she was the first person who ever questioned my diet. And it's interesting because at that point I already had a degree in nutrition, and I think I was just so conditioned. I had seen so many dermatologists and none of them ever once mentioned my diet. And even when I asked them if it could be diet related, most of them said no. So I just couldn't believe that it was something so simple. And at this point, I was so frustrated. I was ready to hear what she had to say because, like I said, I already had a master's degree in nutrition. And I think if it had been any other time, I may have been a little bit defensive. I may have thought, well, I know what I'm doing when it comes to nutrition. Thanks, but no thanks. But thankfully, at this time, I was ready. And she had me cut out dairy for a while, and you know what? I was totally shocked to find that my skin improved. And not only did it look how it did before the trip, it actually looked better. It looked better than it had been in many, many years. And so I'm not saying that dairy is the culprit for everyone, because it's definitely not. But I found my acne trigger, and I believe that you can too. And I've helped since this time. I became really passionate about focusing on skin and the link between what you're eating and your skin. And I've helped many clients clear their skin with their diet. So that's just a little bit about me. And now let's dive into the 3 secrets that I want to share with you. And I also want to tell you that at the end, I forgot to mention that I really have some super exciting news that I want to share with you that I've been keeping under wraps for a while. And I'm going to be launching my group program, Clear Skin from the Inside Out. And I'm so excited to share more details with you later on in the chat. So, the first secret that you will not hear from your dermatologist is that food matters. Like I said, I saw dermatologists and none of them questioned my diet. And it's a sad thing. And on average, dermatologists get only 25 hours or less of nutrition instruction during medical school. So that's really not a lot. It's not what their main focus is. And many of them dismiss or ignore the importance of diet in treating acne. In fact, I was just actually looking at the American Academy of Dermatology website recently, and I was shocked to see that on one of their pages, they state, given, and I'm going to quote here, given the current data, no specific dietary changes are recommended in the management of acne. So that's shocking, and it's doing a really huge disservice to so many people that are struggling with acne, because there definitely is a relation between diet and skin. If you want to let me know in the chat if you've ever seen a dermatologist and whether they've brought up your diet, I'd love to hear about it. I'm not not trying to say that dermatologists don't have a place. Certainly not. They are very important. You know, if you have, say you have a suspicious mole, or you end up with some very unusual rash, absolutely, please go see your dermatologist. They are very highly trained professionals. But what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to chronic conditions like acne or eczema or even psoriasis, rosacea, there is a holistic component that is missing in most dermatology practices. And unfortunately, the reason that I think dermatologists often neglect diet is because in the 60s and 70s, there were actually two popular but very highly flawed studies that were conducted. And these studies showed no link between diet and acne. Now, because of these studies, dermatologists continue to dismiss the importance of diet, but there is a connection, and a lot of new research actually does show that, and I've seen it in my practice, and it really depends on the person what their unique triggers are. Like I said, for me, dairy was a big one, but I've seen others, and even something like coffee can be a trigger for some people. So diet matters. I have that in big red letters there, because I want you to know that absolutely, no matter what you hear, what you see online, or what you've read in the newspaper. I saw an article in the newspaper recently about diet being a myth when it comes to acne, and it just really gets me fired up. I hope you can hear that in my voice, because this is something that frustrates me so much. Diet absolutely makes a difference. So digestive health is the root of skin health, and it's actually gut health is the root of pretty much all health. There's no doubt that the health of your skin is an outer reflection of your inner health. And things like inflammation or digestive issues often show up on your skin. Most of my clients with skin issues also have digestive issues, and there are studies that even link constipation with acne. There's this very well-known disease now. Most people have heard of celiac disease, but one of the manifestations for some people is a skin condition called dermatitis herpetiformis. So that's just further proof that something that starts in the gut can manifest itself on the skin. So in order to heal your skin, you really need to start by healing your gut. And there's lots of different ways to do that. There's foods that are very nourishing for the gut. Things like bone broth is very healing. You know, if you're a vegan, there are vegan alternatives that include seaweed, and I have some great recipes. But healing your gut is something that I dive into deep in my group program, Clear Skin from the Inside Out. Now, the top 3 beauty busting foods that I do see in my practice are dairy, sugar, and refined carbohydrates. So refined carbohydrates goes along with sugar. You know, when we think of sugar, most people think of the really obvious sources. So things like jelly beans, or drinking Coke, or eating a cupcake, a muffin. Yes, there's sugar in those, but there's also sugar in things like bread and pasta and rice. And you may not automatically think of sugar when you eat those foods, but that is what happens in your body. So simple carbohydrates are very quickly broken down into sugar. And that can affect your hormones. So when you eat very high sugar food, it causes your blood glucose, blood sugar level to rise. And then when that happens, your insulin also rises in order for your cells to use the glucose. Now, insulin is a hormone that can affect sebum production. Now, sebum production is the oil, natural oil in your skin. But if it goes into overdrive, that can clog your pores and lead to acne. And it can also just trigger a stress response in your body when you're going through these ups and downs, kind of roller coaster highs and lows of blood sugar. It can really mess with your hormones. So these 3 foods are the most common that I see in my practice. But like I said, there are individual intolerances. If you do have a particular food sensitivity that you're unaware of, then that food could be the culprit. So the example I like to share is I had one client who actually would break out from avocados, which is very unusual. And you'll see on my next slide that one of my top beauty foods is avocados. So that's very, very uncommon. But for her, it was a trigger. And so I help women go through an elimination process in order to discover which foods are their particular triggers. So beyond focusing on the foods that are culprits, you know, sometimes people get really hung up on, oh, but I have to eliminate this food and it seems so hard, and they focus on the deprivation. But what I really much prefer to focus on is all the amazing foods that you can have. And because there are so many, pretty much any colorful fruit or vegetable is going to have benefits, not only for your skin, but for your overall health. And so just know that pretty much any fruit or vegetable is going to be a good thing for your skin. But if I have to narrow it down to my top 5 beauty boosting foods, here they are. Avocados, because they are so rich in healthy fats, and they are also good as a topical skincare product. Like, you can mash them up and use them as a face mask, so they have benefits internally as well as externally. Berries are super rich in antioxidants. They're amazing, fight free radical damage that contributes to the aging process. So you really want to load up on antioxidant rich diet, and berries are a good place to start with that. And leafy greens, I'm jumping to the middle here. Leafy greens are amazing, and it doesn't have to be kale. You know, kale is kind of the superstar in the green world for some reason, but there are so many options. There's spinach and arugula and watercress, collard greens. I could go on and on, but any dark leafy green is going to be amazing for your skin. It also is very rich in fiber, and fiber helps keep your bowels regular, which, like I mentioned earlier, constipation has been linked with acne. So you really want to have foods that are going to keep the bowels moving regularly. Nuts and seeds are another amazing beauty food. Especially pumpkin seeds, they're really rich in zinc, which is an important nutrient for your skin. And also Brazil nuts are rich in selenium. So focus on those. You know, you don't need a lot. Nuts are very rich in calories. So you don't need to eat a lot, but even just having 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day is going to give you your daily dose of selenium, which is amazing. And then number 5 is wild salmon. So wild salmon has this amazing, powerful antioxidant known as astaxanthin, and that's what gives it its beautiful orange color. So it's also rich in omega-3 fats, which is anti-inflammatory, and just really amazing. So one of the ways that I really like to increase the amount of beauty boosting foods that I'm getting in my diet is by making smoothies. So you can pretty much put all of these things except the salmon in a smoothie. The salmon probably wouldn't be so good in a smoothie, but the other foods, you can definitely whip them up in a blender with some you can add anything, really. I have tons of recipes, and just whip up a smoothie, and it has benefits not only because you're getting lots of great nutritious foods, but the fact that you're blending it means that it's a lot easier for your digestive system to absorb those nutrients, because it's already done, the blender has already done that work for you. The mechanical digestion process that starts in your mouth and continues in the stomach with the churning and the mixing with the stomach acids, you know, that's the digestive process. But the blender kind of starts that off for you by mixing everything up and making it super easy to absorb those amazing nutrients. So moving on to secret number 2 that you likely will not hear from your dermatologist, and this one is that creams, serums, and pills are not the answer. I'm not sure if that one surprises you. I know that when I was on my quest to get clear skin, it was all about the products, and I bought so many. I spent so much money on products, and I remember that feeling of hope and anticipation. I would apply a new cream at night and then just wake up in the morning and rush to the mirror, and unfortunately be let down because there were no results. And of course, it was probably unrealistic to expect overnight results, but even over time, I did not notice significant improvement. And here's the thing, products are just a band-aid solution. if you're not addressing the underlying issue, if it's a food sensitivity, if it's a hormone imbalance, if it's stress, whatever it is that's contributing to your skin troubles, products are not going to solve that underlying issue. So products are important, of course. Using quality skincare is absolutely important, and it's something that I do cover in my program, but it's not it's not the answer. It's not the full answer. And statistics show, according to the Environmental Working Group, that the average woman uses 12 products a day, and that those 12 products contain roughly 168 unique ingredients. That's a lot. It's a lot of chemicals to be putting on your skin. The beauty industry is really poorly regulated, and unfortunately a lot of ingredients that have been banned in Europe, thousands of ingredients have been banned in Europe where they have stricter regulations, and these ingredients are still allowed in North America. So these are often found at products that you're going to find in your local drugstore, in the supermarket, even at the beauty department, even like top name expensive products. If you look at the ingredient list, and that's something that you definitely should do, you'll find that a lot of the ingredients in there are actually irritating, dehydrating, and do further damage to your skin. They're really not doing you any favors. So these products may mask the problem, and they may even seem to resolve it for a while, but ultimately you're not getting the true healing, lasting results that you're looking for. Your skin is your largest organ, and what you put on it gets absorbed into your bloodstream. So there's statistics out there floating around about, things get absorbed in 20 seconds, and I'm not sure where that's coming from, and it's not really true. I think those statistics can be alarming and just are using sort of fear tactics to get to people. So I'm going to tell you that's not true, but some of what you put on your skin does get absorbed into your bloodstream, and it can affect your hormones, and not only that, those are more serious consequences, but they can just disrupt the very delicate pH balance, acid mantle of your skin, and cause things to get irritated further. So you really do need to read labels, and a few ingredients to avoid. These are just 5. There's really a lot more, but to give you a few to start with, the big ones to avoid are parabens. They're being phased out of a lot of products. You'll see a lot of products actually will claim paraben free, and that's great. That's good that they've taken them out, but there's still other things lurking in there. So it can be used as a marketing tactic because a lot of people are now aware that parabens shouldn't be in their products. So parabens, and it can show up as different, it can look like methylparaben, ethylparaben, but if you see paraben at the end, that's your clue that you should avoid it. SLS, that's the short form, but it's sodium lauryl sulfate, and this is just it's a foaming agent. So you'll see it in shampoos and soaps, foaming body wash, foaming cleansers, and it gives it that nice suds, that like really rich suds that we've become accustomed to, and we think that that's important, that that's really what's getting us clean, but it's not. That's just, we've been conditioned to think that, and it's very harsh cleaning agent. It strips your skin of its natural oils and can leave it feeling dry, irritated, and also just send your skin into overdrive to produce those oils that it has now been stripped of. PEG is polyethylene glycol, that it can show up as PEG with a number like PEG 8 or PEG whatever, and it's a penetration enhancer. So basically it helps other ingredients just sink more deeply into your skin. Triclosan is used as an antibacterial, and it's also another one that's being phased out of a lot of products, but you don't need such harsh. Not only is the triclosan contributing to antibacterial resistance, but it's just extremely harsh thing to be using on your skin. So if you do need to use a hand sanitizer, just look for one that has alcohol, just pure alcohol. That's really all you need. And wash your hands with soap and water. That's the best thing that you can do. And now number 5 is fragrance or parfum. It can show up as either one on a label, and this can contribute to respiratory distress in a lot of people, and it basically is a word that is used to lump a lot of other ingredients under it. So the reason for that is that perfumes and different companies have trade secrets. So they have their signature scent, and that's something they don't want other companies to know, because it's their thing, it's their brand recognition. And so they're allowed to just put fragrance on a label, which really is a lot of hundreds, possibly hundreds of chemicals that fall under that term fragrance. So we really don't know what they're putting in there. And you can definitely look for that on a label. And if you see it, it's probably best to avoid. So I just want to show you a little quick mini case study to investigate some popular products out there to show you that so this is a very popular system. I'm not going to name names of what it is. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it, but basically it's a 4-step acne system that costs $180, and it includes ingredients like the PEG fragrance that we talked about, and phenoxyethanol, which is a preservative. It's not the worst thing in the world, but there are better alternatives. And so say you're buying this product every 2 to 3 months, that can get pretty expensive. That can add up to $720 to $1,080 per year, depending on how quickly you go through it. So they claim to be effective, but they include toxic ingredients, and it becomes a vicious cycle where you actually end up needing more products because these ingredients dehydrate your skin. So you don't need to spend that much money. The system that I use right now, my skincare routine doesn't cost me more than $35 a month, if that, and it's very quick. It takes less than 10 minutes. I don't have time to be spending, on an elaborate, a complicated skincare routine, and that's not necessary. Okay, moving on to secret number 3 that you won't hear from your dermatologist, and this one is that less is more. And I really encourage you to give your skin a break. Okay, where I see so many women, and I'm guilty of it too, I've done it in the past, but just treating your skin like a war zone. And you think that the more you do to your face, the quicker your acne is going to heal, because you're constantly searching for that next product or that next thing that is going to heal your skin. But like I said before, these are just Band-Aid solutions, and truly the less you do, the better. And I think back to when I was a teenager, and I was just going nuts with all the creams and the prescriptions. I had antibiotics and really harsh, I remember a face wash that smelled like sulfur, smelled like horrible rotten eggs. It was really disgusting. And I used all these things. And I remember my dad saying to me, just leave your skin alone, just give it a break. And of course I didn't listen to him, because what did my dad know about like the life of a teenage girl and how rough that was? But looking back, I can see how wise he really was, and I wish that I had listened. And so the best piece of advice that I can give to you is that you really need to give your skin a break. Especially if you've been using so many products and your skin is still irritated, you have no idea what is causing it. It could be one ingredient out of hundreds, but if you continue to use it, you're never going to find that out. So going on a skin cleanse is a great idea. It's a great place to start. I often recommend it. Even if you can go just a weekend without using anything on your skin, people often notice that their skin feels a lot less itchy, a lot less dry, and it just starts the healing process. So I also really encourage you, if you get a new breakout, or if something's going on with your skin, it's very tempting to look for the next product. And like I said, I'm guilty of it too. Even now, I don't get blemishes very often, but if something's going on in my life, say I've indulged a bit too much, on vacation, if I had too much ice cream, I might get a pimple. And I'm tempted to use a mask or put something on it externally, but What I encourage you to do instead, and I have to remind myself of too, is to take a step back and leave the products alone and think about what's going on in your life. Like, what could have contributed? Did you eat a lot of sweet, sugary foods over the weekend? Did you go to a party and maybe drink too much alcohol? Did you have some rough nights of sleep because your toddler is waking up? That happens to me more than I'd like. So sleep is a big factor. Are you stressed? Maybe at work, maybe something's going on, you have a deadline coming up. So what's going on in your life and what could have contributed to the breakout? And then when you figure that out, you can take steps to address it and to resolve it. So really, the less you do, the better. And your daily habits have a huge impact on your skin. There's really no need to overwash. Most women wash their face far too often. They exfoliate too often and use really like tools like the Clarisonic, and just to do that regularly. And your skin has a delicate barrier, and the more that you aggravate it, the more it's just gonna fight back. So that's, if you could take away one lesson. I mean, everything I've said is important, and like the diet one is huge, but the one thing that I would love for you to just take away is to please give your skin a break and let it heal. Give it a chance to heal, because your body is wise. Your body has that innate healing wisdom, and you have to like give it a chance to do that. So some quick tips that I wanted to share with you for glowing skin are, number one, stop picking blemishes. That goes along with the whole giving your skin a break, but I know it's tempting. Some strategies you can use to help stop picking blemishes is just to say, every time you get the urge to pick a blemish, maybe do something else instead. You can maybe apply some ice to your face that can cool it down and help reduce the blemish, and so you're not picking at it. You could just put a reminder on your computer telling you to keep your hands away from your face. And it takes time, especially if it's something you do often. It's going to be quick tips I want to share with you for glowing skin are, number one, to stop picking at blemishes. I know how tempting it can be, but this goes along with the whole leaving your skin alone and giving it a break. When you pick at blemishes, you can cause infection, and this can create scarring, which actually ends up taking even longer to heal. So some things you can do instead are, every time you get an urge to pick at a blemish, use some ice. Just apply some ice to your face. So this can really cool down your skin and let it reduce the inflammation in your skin. Other ideas are just to put some notes at your desk, maybe on your computer screen, like reminding you not to touch your face. So really, it's important to be mindful of how often you're touching your face throughout the day, and anything that's touching your face. For example, your cell phone, or maybe you do yoga on a regular basis and your face is on your yoga mat. You really want to keep all of these things super clean, because the bacteria is transferring to your face and can lead to breakouts. You want to wash your makeup brushes at least twice a month. And often women are shocked when they hear this. They're not washing their brushes often enough, and they don't realize that the oil from your skin is accumulating in the bristles, and this can lead to bacteria and can contribute to breakouts. In fact, some women see results in their skin just from making this one simple change alone. So put a note in your calendar and make it a priority, because washing those makeup brushes is super important. And another tip is to switch your pillowcase often and avoid dryer sheets. When you're sleeping at night, your face is pressing up against your pillow for 7-8 hours, and anything on your face, oil throughout the night, and even drool, I know that sounds disgusting, but it is transferring to your pillow, and then it's transferring back to your face night after night. So switch your pillowcase often, and when you're doing the laundry, try to use wool dryer balls instead of dryer sheets, because dryer sheets have a waxy coating on them, and that waxy coating leaves a residue on your towels and on your pillows, and this can clog your pores. So a good idea is to avoid those drier sheets. Have you been enjoying this workshop so far? If so, please put a yes in the comments. I'd love to hear if you found anything surprising that I've been sharing with you tonight. Maybe you're here because you've been struggling with your skin and you're sick of feeling like a prepubescent teenager. I often hear, actually the number one thing that I hear from my clients is, I'm too old for acne. It's often viewed as a teenage problem, and it's really embarrassing when it continues well past those teenage years. So maybe you feel like you've tried it all, but you still have no clue what's going on with your skin. You avoid going out without makeup on. You've wasted tons of time Googling acne and finding all sorts of conflicting and confusing information out there. And you even get distracted during conversations when you catch someone glancing at your chin or your forehead. I know what it's like. I've been there too. And I've heard this from so many different women. That's why I'm so excited to introduce my new program, Clear Skin from the Inside Out. Get clearer skin in 6 weeks so you can confidently walk out of your house, even without makeup. Imagine how amazing it would feel if you knew exactly how to get clear and glowing skin for good. You stop throwing thousands of dollars down the drain on toxic products that don't even work. You could bring on the selfies and carefree days at the beach without worrying about a makeup meltdown. I had so many women over the summer tell me that they just really wanted to be able to go to the beach and feel good without putting on the makeup. Who wants to wear makeup on a really hot day and worry about it melting off at the beach? Imagine being able to run out and do errands without worrying about applying a full face of makeup. You'd save so much time. It's amazing. And the best part is that the tools and the strategies that you'll learn during the program are yours for life. So not only do you get lifetime access to the program, which means that if there's any updates, those are going to be yours too. And of course, there's going to be updates. But what I really mean is that once you know what your unique skin triggers are, you're going to be armed with the information that you need to fix them. So no more trial and error. No more wondering what the hell is going on and why you're the only person in your family with acne. No more uncontrollable shopping sprees at Sephora where the sales lady looks horrified that you're not on some complicated 15-step skincare system. Who has time for that? Seriously. Who wants to waste hours and hours applying all sorts of creams on their face? I want you to know that what you're going to get with this program is a personalized and proven step-by-step holistic skincare system. Each week, you're going to receive a new module that features bite-sized training videos and supportive PDF worksheets and guides. You'll also get an access to skin nourishing recipes that anyone can make in minutes. Like I said, I don't have time to spend hours on my face, and I definitely don't have hours to spend in the kitchen, and I know that you don't either. So I'm making this all super simple for you, and like I said, you get lifetime access. What I really want is for you to feel empowered and to feel like you're the one in control of your acne, not the other way around. Katie, one of my former clients, is feeling like she's in control of her breakouts now, and I'm so proud of her. I really hope that her story will show you that even if you're feeling totally helpless right now, clear skin is possible for you too. When Katie joined the program, she was frustrated with her skin and digestive issues. She felt like it had become an obsession, which is something I can relate to. It can really become an all-consuming thing if you let it. But here's what she had to say. I had no idea how much the food I was eating was affecting my skin. And my skin is so much clearer now that I'm dairy-free and avoid processed foods. My daughter just had a birthday party, and I decided I'd try pizza and cupcakes, and my face certainly paid the price. As much as that stunk, I was so grateful for their added reassurance that I'm totally in control of my clear skin or lack thereof. I went from completely helpless to feeling empowered with knowledgeable decisions about my skin. Plus, my whole family is eating healthier now too. So how amazing is that? She went from completely helpless to feeling empowered. And this is the beauty of it. She knows exactly what's causing her breakouts now. And that's what I want for you too. Does it mean you're never going to eat sweet treats or eat dairy or whatever your trigger may be again? Of course not. I love ice cream and I indulge in it from time to time. Will I end up with a breakout? I might, not always, but if I do, it's not the end of the world, and I know exactly how to get back on track. It's not a big guessing game anymore. So what you're going to get is a holistic approach, and that's completely different from what you get when you see a dermatologist, because they're not trained that way. They're trained to give you creams or prescription medications, even harsh drugs like Accutane, and they don't spend the time to focus on your diet because, like I said earlier in the presentation, they only receive 25 hours or less of nutrition instruction. It's not their area of expertise. And so my program is a holistic approach. This is just an example of some of the modules that you will receive that really focus on different aspects and different factors that contribute to healthy skin. For example, food, stress, sleep, and just feeling confident no matter what your skin looks like. That's really important too. The program starts on Monday, October 23rd, and each of these modules will be released on a weekly basis. Kate, I should say, is another one of my amazing clients, and she keeps getting asked the secret behind her glow. She is feeling amazing, and even after 3 weeks of working together, her skin was flawless, and it actually glows now. So people have been asking her what her secret is. She's feeling confident, creating videos for her business, getting visible, and she's doing amazing. And that's all possible for you too. This program really works, and these were all examples of real people just to show you what's possible. And this is the program that I wish existed when I was struggling with my skin. Instead of irritating my skin using Proactive and harming my gut with antibiotics, I wish someone had taken me through a step-by-step holistic program. And that's exactly why I've created it, because I don't want other women to have to go through years and years of wondering and struggling. So on top of all that I've already shared, there's also more. There's some amazing bonuses, like access to my private Facebook community where you'll get all your questions answered by me. There's live weekly Q&A sessions, guest interviews, and holistic health expert training. So in the past, I've done, I had yoga training, I had facial massage techniques and essential oils, and I can't wait to share more with you during the program. And there's also a 10% special discount code for clean beauty products, which will help you make the transition to get rid of all those icky ingredients and find some amazing products that are really going to nourish your skin. This time around, I've also added 2 tiers. So there's the self-study option, which is the modules plus the Facebook group and all the other bonuses I mentioned. But on top of that, there's also VIP option. And then this is for people who really need the extra one-on-one support from me to address your skin challenges. And people who, in the past, when I worked with them one-on-one, they said that was their favorite part about the program. And it's really important when you're dealing with a really unique skin situation to get that individualized attention. So with the VIP option, you'll get a 60-minute skin assessment call to figure out what's going on, and then you'll get a personalized skincare plan created by me, as well as a 30-minute follow-up coaching call to keep on going, to figure out next steps, see where you're struggling, see where you're succeeding, and really get it all figured out so that you get that clear skin that you deserve. If you are serious about finally getting clear skin, this program is totally for you. It's for women who are struggling with adult acne or other skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, women who are interested in a holistic approach, and women who are motivated and willing to make changes to get the clear skin they want. And that's important because I want to say this is not a quick fix. This is not some miracle cure or special crash diet that's gonna work for everyone. Everybody's different, and so that's why I really take a personalized approach. If you're somebody who is just looking for the next greatest cream, or you want to pop some pills, take some supplements, and hope that it works, this program is probably not the best for you. I want people who are really committed and willing to make the lifestyle changes that are required to get results. On top of all that I've shared, because you've taken time to be here for this webinar, I have an extra special offer just for you. If you sign up for Clear Skin from the Inside Out in the next 24 hours only, you'll not only save 20% on enrollment, but you'll also get an added one-on-one 30-minute skin assessment kickoff call from me. The program starts October 23rd, but this will allow you to get a head start and really get on track so that you're all set for the program and you know exactly what you need to do to get that clear skin that you desire. So this is an amazing bonus, and if you're really serious about finally getting clear skin, you don't want to miss out on this offer. It expires at 8:59 p.m. tomorrow night, so don't wait. The link is in the chat box. Excuse me, the link to sign up is in the chat box, and here's exactly what's going to happen when you do. You're going to get an email from me with access to my calendar to sign up for your free call. The program starts October 23rd, like I said, and new modules will each be released on a weekly basis. But remember, you have lifetime access to this program. So if life gets busy, I totally understand that. I have a toddler at home. So you can continue anytime that works for you. And I'll be, the Facebook group isn't going anywhere. So if you have any questions at any time, I will be there to support you. Acne is not something that you have to deal with for life. You totally deserve to love what you see when you look in the mirror, and I can help you get there. I know how it feels to struggle with acne because I went through it too. So not only do I have a master's degree in nutrition and lots of experience working with clients, but I also have personal experience. And I think that gives me a unique perspective. I've dealt with the hurtful comments people make. And so I know it's not vain or shallow to want clear skin. I hear that all the time. People think that they're just fussing over nothing, but that's absolutely not true, not at all, because it goes so much deeper than your skin. Your skin is a reflection of your overall health, and it's also the most visible thing that people see when they meet you. So when it doesn't look the way that you want, it can really affect your self-esteem. It affects the way you show up in the world, the way you present yourself, and there's nothing that I want more than to help you feel good in your skin. And you can feel good, and you can get that clear skin. If I can do it, you can do it too. Now, I understand that working with me one-on-one is not an option for everyone, and so that's another reason that I created this program. It's a fraction of the cost of working with me one-on-one. You'll also save money on products because I spend $35 or less on my face each month. I'm not going to recommend expensive routines or complicated ones. I spend less than 10 minutes a day on my skincare routine. So the link to join is in the chat box, and just remember, you only have 24 hours to get that fast action bonus. Now, if there's any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat box. While I'm waiting, I'm going to get started and answer some common questions that I often get about the program. So one question that I often get is, are you going to recommend crazy restrictive diets that just make me hangry? So no, the answer is no, I'm not going to do that to you. I may recommend eliminating some of the most common acne triggers just on a temporary basis so that we can figure out what your triggers are. And this guidance will be obviously a lot more personalized if you choose the VIP option. But what I much prefer to do is add in more skin nourishing foods, and really focus on all those amazing foods that you can have, because there's often a lot of room for improvement in most people's diets. And by adding in amazing foods that are going to boost your energy and make you feel so good, you're naturally going to not crave the unhealthy foods as much. Another question is, will this program take a lot of time? Yeah, I totally get that one. I'm a busy mom, and like I said, I don't have hours to spend pampering my skin. Even if I wanted to, I don't unfortunately have that time, and I understand you don't either. So I spend less than 10 minutes a day on my skin, and all the recipes I provide are super quick and simple to make. The videos are all short and easy to watch, so you can just watch them at your own pace. And since you have lifetime access, there's really no pressure or rush to finish everything. You can watch them anytime that is convenient for you. Will this work for me? That's a good question. I totally understand your hesitation, because you feel like you've tried it all and you feel like you're just cursed with this for life. I know I felt that way when I was pushing my late 20s, and I just thought, okay, well, this is something I'm going to have to deal with. But you haven't tried this program, and I'm confident that you will get results. And I'm so confident, in fact, that I've actually stamped it with the guarantee. If you don't see results in 6 weeks that we work together, then you and I will sit down for a one-on-one coaching call to troubleshoot what's going on. And that's absolutely free, because what I really want for you is to get results. I want you to feel good in your skin. And so that's why I've created this guarantee. I hope that sounds good. And any other questions? But the question was, do I do food sensitivity testing? And the answer to that is no, I don't. And there's a reason for that. So, food sensitivity testing is extremely expensive. And I find that it's actually not really accurate. For a lot of people, they end up, when their food sensitivity test comes back, they get so many things that they apparently reacted to, and because of that, they end up going on really restrictive elimination diets, and it's not necessary. There's often false positives in these tests, and you end up eliminating foods that you really don't need to. So the best way to figure out if you're sensitive to a food is to do to keep food records, which I do go into in a lot of detail in the program, and I have everybody track what they're eating, as well as symptoms they're experiencing, whether it's new breakouts or migraines or bloating, anything that they're experiencing. And then we examine those very closely to figure out which foods could be their unique triggers. And then we go from there to eliminate only the ones that we think are the culprit for you, because it's not necessary. Like, I've had people come back with food sensitivity testing that said they were sensitive to broccoli and asparagus, and that's highly unusual, and it didn't turn out to be the case. So, not like I said, it's expensive and it's not accurate. So the answer is no, I don't do food sensitivity testing. Thanks for your question. It was a good one. So another question that, oh, you're welcome, very welcome. Another question that I often get is, will this work for me? So I understand that you're hesitant and you feel like you've already tried it all and that you're cursed with acne for life. I felt that way myself. But you haven't tried this program, and I'm so confident that you're going to get results, and so confident that I've actually stamped it with a guarantee, which is basically, if you don't see results in the 6 weeks that we work together, you and I are going to sit down for a one-to-one coaching call to troubleshoot your skin challenges, and that's totally free, because I want you to get results. Ultimately, there's nothing I want more than for you to finally get to the bottom of your skin issues, because I know how it feels, and I'm so I'm so dedicated and passionate about helping you get there too. So if you don't get results, then we will work together and figure out what's going on. Okay, so another question I'm seeing is, do you specifically recommend brands or ingredients that should be included in our skincare? That's a good question. So I do have brands that I love and that I often recommend, but and I definitely educate everyone in the program about ingredients that they should watch out for or avoid in their products. But you, I yes, there's brands I love, but I like to give personalized recommendations because everybody's skin situation is unique. So even though I may love a specific serum for my skin, it might not be the best option for your skin. So I get to know you better in the program, and based on and especially if you choose the VIP option, that's where you're gonna get the most individualized recommendations about exactly what products are gonna be best for you and your skin. Does that answer your question? Here we go. I'm back. And I hope you enjoyed the workshop, and I'll be sending out the replay later on. And if you think of any other questions, feel free to send me an email. Okay, so have an amazing evening, and thanks for being here with me tonight. Okay, good night.